I think given the hour, I'm going to take a bit of chairman's prerogative here and have our panel discussion now and then break for our coffee break. And if I could ask the indulgence of Dr. Brazel to join the session 4, that will be the panel right after the coffee break. I'd really appreciate it because I think it will make more sense this way. So we have some time for questions of 3 individuals here who are really putting the rubber to the road in terms of the nanomedicine, Dr. Leary, Dr. Prozac, and Dr. Henke. So would anybody like to approach the microphone and ask a probing question?
You mentioned as some of the logic that you can do with these different layers, quite a wide range. And you showed, as I understand in your talk, and operations. Could you talk a little bit about the other ones, particularly knots?
That's a very good question. The and is obviously the easiest to do. The not, depending on how you do it, can be lack of a particular one. You can imagine starting to have more than one probe on a nanoparticle so that it multiplex labels. When you get into things like ORs and level-sensitive switches, that's something we have not done yet and is very complex. And in fact, that's one of the issues that we were trying to solve for NASA, because you needed a level-sensitive switch, not just a simple Boolean and/or, to decide whether you wanted to actually repair a radiation-damaged cell. Because what you don't want to do is rescue cells which are going to become cancerous in astronauts, for example. So there's a lot of work to be done. I and my group are not the best in this. There's a number of groups around the country developing chemical ways of doing and/or not switches. So I'd be happy to link you up with some of those if you're interested.
Hi, Brooke. I wonder if anyone has been concerned. These particles seem particularly could be useful for the treatment of biofilms. That is, these accumulations of bacteria with a long-chain polysaccharide matrix that accumulate around prostheses like replace valves, and they're full of bacteria, and they often kill people. I mean, it's a major complication. And it seemed to me that just what you're talking about might be useful. Now, there's been a lot of study of a similar phenomenon in astrobiology, because there's a big interest in biomats. Now, biomats were very common in the Cretaceous period before flowering plants started, and they're very similar to biofilms. They often come in big mats that thick, and the study of them has led to this study of quorum sensing, and which is a kind of an attempt at biology, of systems biology. That is, they can communicate with each other. Just one more point. I was, about the time that the Cancer Institute NASA project was started, I was the advisor to Dan Golden, so I'm very pleased to hear a follow-up. I
think some very good things came out of that.
Yeah, it did. I'm pleased to hear that.
Great. Additional questions for the panel? I think you're going to get most of your questions around the coffee canteen, because I think people are anxious for that. So it's just after 4:15 now. If we could gather back at 4:35, it gives us a bit more than 15 minutes, and we'll complete the last 5 speakers at that time.